Okay, in this video we are going to see about controller. It is a part of robot subsystem. We can otherwise called as robot anatomy. In the last video we have saw about the actuators and drivers. Okay, fine. In this controller, the controller controls the motion of the actuators. Whatever the operation is done, we need a controlling part to operate whatever the task to be performed, right? So here we need a controller. The controller controls the motion of the actuators. The controllers acts on data it receives from the computer and coordinates the motion with the sensory feedback informations. Okay, the controller acts on data it receives from the computer. From the information which is received from the computer, the controller acts according to that and coordinates with the motion with the sensory feedback informations. By using the sensory informations received from the mechanical part, that mechanical part will act according to the information which is received by the computer, programmed one, right? The velocity and force exerted by the robot are also controlled by the controller. Okay, the velocity the velocity and force exerted by the robot or controlled by the controllers. The complete part of the robot will be controlled by the main controller, right? For example, let us assume that the robot must pick an object. Okay, robot must pick an object for which the joint should be at an angle of 30 degree. Okay, if the joint is already not at this angle, if the joint, the picking part, which is called as grippers or an grippers or end effectors, right? That part will not be in a, if it is not in a perfect angle, then the controller will send a signal to the actuator causing the joint to move in a particular angle, right? After the grippers are moving into a particular angle, and then the process will take place. Okay, this is the part of a controller. Okay, for example, as I told you, let us assume the robot must pick a object which is not at a certain angle of 30 degree. If the joint is not at this angle, then the control will send a signal to the actuator to make the joints to move in a particular angle, right? Next we have sensors. Sensors are used to collect informations about the internal state of the robot or to communicate with the outside environment, right? Mainly sensors are used to sense what is used to sense the materials, what the output is going to be, right? The sensors are used to collect informations about the internal state of the robot and to communicate with the outside environment, right? The sensor integrated into the robot and sends informations about each joint or links. The sensors integrated with the robot sends informations about joints or links to the controller, which in turn determines the signal to the actuator. Okay, to communicate with the outside environment, the robots are equipped with sensory devices such as vision system, touch and tactile sensors, speech synthesizers, etc. To communicate with the outside environment, the robots are equipped with sensory devices such as vision system, which is used for eye, a touch and a tactile sensor, speech synthesizer, which is used to talk, right, which is used to communicate with the human beings, etc. These are the sensors which are used in the robots. An interface. What is interface? Interface are required for the robot to interact with outside world, right? The interface acts as link between the robot and the outside world, external world. The interface can be either between a robot and a computer or between a robot and a other machine. These are the operations, whether the computer is programmed to communicate with the robot. By using computer, the programming has been done and it is interfaced with the robot, or else a single robot is connected with other machines to perform a task. Okay, these are the parts of robots are called as robot anatomy. Thank you.